Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier with a Mike's Not So Instant movie review. We're going to discuss Idiocracy. Idiocracy? Did I say it right the second time? I think I did. What are my thoughts? Well, first of all, if you haven't seen the movie, it might be a movie that you've heard referenced a lot in pop culture, being on your Twitter feed, your YouTube, and what finally spurred me to see this movie, and I'll get into why I hadn't seen the movie until today. For years and years and years, I've heard about this movie. A good friend of mine saw it a couple of years after it came out, at least, because he's mentioned it for a while, that him and his wife felt like it was almost a painful thing for them, Idiocracy, because of the opening scene, which is about the kind of upper middle class couple that's trying to have one kid, and they're, going through all these problems about having a child, and then there's the proverbial white trash family that's having kid after kid, generation after generation. So my friend, had a painful laugh at that, because him and his wife were having trouble having kids and so forth. And he told me about this movie a while ago, and I remember renting this movie, Idiocracy, from the public library. Believe it or not, I used to do that a lot. I used to be one of those people that actually went to the library, and sometimes I'd get books, and sometimes I'd rent movies, and then just like anything else, you have to hurry up and watch the thing. And I remember it was getting to be 2 or 3 days late, and I hadn't watched it. I just returned it, never watched it. That was about 5 years ago. So time just goes by, and for whatever reason, well, I know the reason, on YouTube today, I was floating around YouTube, and I've seen in my YouTube feed, someone I must subscribe to has had a video up, Idiocracy, WTF with this movie, what the fuck with this movie. And that's been in my YouTube feed, and I kind of feel like I had seen this movie. Like sometimes you have movies that you never watched, but people tell you about it, or they give you the general concept, and you feel like you've seen the movie even though you haven't. There's another movie that I have that feeling about. It's the David Arquette documentary. Like, I feel like I've seen the movie even though I haven't, because I know the story and blah, blah, blah. So let's get back to this Idiocracy. Basically, I wanted to watch this guy's YouTube video, but I said, fuck, I've never even seen the movie. So, is he going to give it all away? And so I finally said, fuck, how do I watch this movie? I checked Amazon Prime. It was on there, but for a fee. I went to YouTube TV, hoping for a punt. I went to the YouTube thing. Someone had uploaded this movie. It's a 15-year-old movie at this point, but I didn't feel like watching some bootleg version, some, stolen thing. I'm like, I'll pay for it. So I paid the $4.99 to buy this movie on Amazon. So now I have it permanently. And I can tell you right now, I'll never watch this movie again, unless that same friend insists that we watch it, or unless perhaps you, the YouTube commenter, has some great insight for me. Why should I watch this movie again? But in full disclosure, folks, as you might know by now, I have an intention. I'm not going to diagnose myself. I just like to multitask. I can't really just sit there and watch a fucking movie for an hour and 26 minutes. I need to be doing something else. So I was kind of fiddle fucking around on my secondary computer. I had the monitor on Idiocracy for an hour and 26 minutes, and I'm doing things. I'm on the other thing. And yes, I am paying attention to the movie, but did I give it my undivided fucking attention? No. I'm doing the best I can, or the best I choose to do. How about that for a new fucking comment? I'm doing the best I can, or at least the best that I choose to do. Because nobody really does the best they can. You do the best you choose to do, because you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, if we were all doing the best we could, we'd be doing a lot better than we are. We're doing the best that we choose to do. You know what I mean? So, go back to this fucking movie, and opening scene is strong. It was different than I thought, but it was strong. It was funny. I'm assuming that most of you folks that are watching my video have already seen the movie. you know. But I'm not going to be like a super endorser of this thing. Like, guess what? I kind of liked the video that I watched after the movie when I got around to watching this guy's video. I think it was Jay Blow or something like that. I watched his fucking thing after. Probably enjoyed that after the movie. So I'm watching this movie, and I guess this is what I thought I was going to see. I thought I was going to see a series of humorous skits about the world being fucked up. Like, yes, a movie, but like just, Luke Wilson's going through this world that's kind of a fucked up place. And maybe I was thinking more of this term, me and a friend of mine debated this term. What does tongue-in-cheek mean anyway? What the fuck does tongue-in-cheek mean? But more of I guess like a Seinfeld or The Office or some type of thing where it's not so heavy-handed. You know what I mean? Like, I found that this Idiocracy, the guy goes into the future, the prostitute goes into the future, and it's just very heavy-handed that everyone's a fucking idiot, everyone's grunting and groaning. They think he's, weak or light in the loafers because he speaks in full sentences. And I got that. I got the humor of it. But to me, to have that humor for another hour and change was not funny. Like, okay, I get the joke. The joke is everyone's a sloth and a moron in the future. But can we get out of this? Because this is boring to me. And it's not to say that it's not funny. It's just, I found it boring, maybe depressing. And that's what a lot of people have said, is that this movie predicted all these things, and there is some funny stuff in there. I think that the concepts and the jokes, so to speak, they're more funny or insightful than the execution of the film entertained me or made me happy or sad. Maybe it's not supposed to make you happy. Maybe that's the point. I would say this, and I never, Maya Rudolph, looking like a ripe peach off the tree in this movie, meaning that I've never seen her look so fetching. She looked very good. Not that she's an unattractive woman, but she's just someone you see on TV all the time, and you just think of her as like your aunt or just some friend or some person. But in this movie, she looked very, very nice. So I give her credit. Youth is a wonderful thing. But Maya Rudolph looked very hot in this movie. I'll be honest with you. Not that I'm anti Maya Rudolph. I'm just kind of neutral. There was a show on, I believe, Amazon Prime called Forever. So if you look up Maya Rudolph's in that show with that guy, Fred, what's his name? The guy that you can't say his last name properly. It's too hard to say his name. But Maya and Fred are on that show Forever. So if you're a Maya Rudolph fan or a Fred Armistache, you know what I mean? Some of these Hollywood people should change their names so they're easier for me to pronounce. But Fred's funny, she's funny, and the show is called Forever. I won't give it away. I believe it's on Amazon Prime. What else? So when I finally got around, I watched the movie, and it was okay. I mean, look, was it Terry Crews as like the rah-rah president? And then I finally get around. The movie ends. I guess it just wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting quirkier or just more of like I wasn't expecting this apocalyptic vision of the future. You know what I mean? Like, I was expecting funnier, and it wasn't. To me, I just wasn't that into it. Now, this is where it got interesting, watching that other dude's video about this movie and why it was a box office dud, because of the companies that this movie, Idiocracy, makes fun of, ridicules, such as, you could say, Starbucks, Costco, Fuddruckers. I did like the part where the guy goes, "Welcome to Costco, I love you." It's pretty funny. But when you get to, when I got to this guy's video about this movie, he said that these companies like Starbucks and the other ones were so pissed because they felt that their logos or their companies were being misrepresented or mocked in this movie, that the studio basically buried the movie. Like the movie, as a trying to keep in good with these advertisers or potential advertisers for down the road, the movie producers basically sacrificed this film. And Mike Judge, who we all know was the creator of this thing and the creator of Office Space, and apparently he wasn't happy with how Office Space was distributed and marketed, because that became a big comedy classic, but the Office Space movie was not handled well by the production studio or the distributors. And then they did the same thing, even worse, to his next thing, which was this one, Idiocracy. So Mike Judge, his next film after this, he's self-funded. He said, "To hell with the system." But all these companies, basically, from what we're told from this video that I watched, were getting the pressure to not promote this movie to a big-time degree. So there you have it. I found that interesting. I mean, art and commerce, sometimes they're friends, oftentimes they're not. So there you effing have it. Here's the deal. I mean, look, I'm glad I paid the $4.99. I'm glad that, Mike Judge, 15 years later, people still have an interest in this thing. An Idiocracy, it's become a term, like a pop culture term that people use. But I won't lie to you, I never will. I won't say that this movie, made my life or anything. Why is this car behind me with his lights on? That's a little alarming, to be honest. But was this movie, did I have a chuckle every 5 seconds? Not really. I mean, I was more intrigued by Maya Rudolph, how she looked. Luke Wilson was good. I think I walked by Luke Wilson in Los Angeles once, and I even blurted out loud, "Oh, that's Luke Wilson." And my friend at the time said, "You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that you saw a celebrity in public in Hollywood. It's LA because it's like, this is their playground, and you're not supposed to point out." I said, I just couldn't control myself. It's Luke Wilson. Fuck, sue me. But, I think Luke Wilson was one of those guys that he was never in the upper echelon of a Kevin Costner or whoever the fuck. But I mean, Justin Bateman, or what I was saying is Luke Wilson was kind of like one of those Justin Bateman guys. Like, oh, he's the good guy that we all know. Like, kind of, was it the Judd? Who's the Judd Apatow guy? Not Judd Apatow himself, but the guy that he always casts in the movies to play him. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, it just had, maybe there's an E or something. Like, whenever Judd Apatow makes a movie, he hires this guy to play him. Who's that fucking guy? It's not Zac Efron. I mean, whenever you see stuff from like 2006, see, and I wasn't watching a lot of television at the time, but there's all these actors, Zac Efron, or, the lady from Grey's Anatomy, or, half the cast of Scrubs. There's all these people that were kind of big at that time, but they just weren't big for me because I wasn't watching television all the fucking time. And I know that people, "Oh, you make movies, you should be doing." It's like, well, look, I have other things to do in my life. You know what I mean? I can't be monitoring everything all the time. I can't sit there and worry about Game of Thrones or the last episode of The Sopranos. I've got my own life. You know what I mean? Well, that's it. So this is not one of those videos, in case you just happen to find me for the first time, you might be wondering, where's all the fancy editing and the sound effects? Well, folks, this is raw. This is just a guy speaking to you. I am capable and do quite well with making films. You can watch the impeccable 4 award-winning short film right here, the Disregard the Vampire, a Mike Messier documentary. 11 award winner, the Wrestling with Sanity short film trilogy, the infamous Shtick Man, has recently been uploaded, and you can watch Ox Baker, One of the Boys. I guess I'll do a mini review, just for the fuck of it, Time Pandemonium. Talk about a fucking hitting classic. You've got Dreamland, Pandemonium, great song, Sexy Socialites, Jerk Out, Yount, Blondie, Donald Trump Black Version is actually a song on this. Chocolate, Cooking Class, Skillet, It's Your World, Sometimes I Get Lonely, Data Bank, My Summertime Thang, and Pretty Little Woman. 15 songs of magic. The Time, Pandemonium, used, great value. I would definitely say it's a great value. These motherfuckers, and look, it's all sealed up. I bought it, and I think I bought this on one of my trips between the north and the south this year. I think it was my April trip, and I haven't even... These things have always been a pain in my dick for my whole life. These fucking... Getting these goddamn stickers off. I mean, it's like... I have a thing where I like to trim my fingernails like a nice, clean fingernail. But that doesn't... As soon as you do it, there's some problem, there's some situation where you need a fucking fingernail. It's like, well, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Look at the fun of that fucking disc. So if you never listened to The Time or Pandemonium, also, I mean, everyone's YouTube experience is so different. But I get this guy, like, who interviews people. Sometimes he interviews musicians or rappers. And I guess he's kind of not well liked, but people like to watch his stuff. It's not Hannibal. It's a non-wrestling guy. Look, you got all the lyrics, like this whole lyric book. I'm trying to read it. He's got the skillet. It's your world you're living in, and what you choose to make it is what it is. It's your world you're living in. If you don't make it better, nobody else will. When leadership is lacking, guess who's to blame? You. If you don't vote, opportunity is elusive. On trial is destiny. Only you can change it. The verdict is still out. Damn, man. That's like some fucking Twitter shit. That's like some fucking Facebook meme. Chocolate. Give me some of your chocolate. What you waiting for? Chocolate. Give some of your chocolate. Just can't wait no more. Every time I bring you home, you say you got a headache. You want to be alone? I ain't trying to brag, baby. But if I ever get you in the bed, I'll work that body so hard, you'll wish all you had was an aching head. So, just good stuff. Just good lyrics. I mean, just nice things. Here we go. Donald Trump, Black Version. Honey, baby, you truly know it. You look good. Trying your best to show it. If I were you, I would true love and affection. These are nice. But when the money man walks in the room, girl, you look more than twice. You look once, you look twice. Can I rap to you sugar tonight? Donald Trump, Black Version. Maybe that's what you need. A man that fulfills your every wish, your every dream. Donald Trump, Black Version. Come on, take a chance. A 1990 love affair. The real romance. So, yeah, it's good. Well, that's it, folks. A lot of folks have been very complimentary. They've been saying that they've been checking in with the videos at night. They get excited. There's something to look forward to. They just get a fetish for these videos. Other folks are making suggestions. I got one guy who's trying to be my lighting consultant, making a lot of suggestions. I appreciate it. I'll be honest, like I said to the guy, I was very forthright. I said, the whole point is I just feel like saying something and I say it. I don't feel like going through a song and a dance and getting a production assistant in my car. You know what I mean? First of all, they wouldn't fit. Anyway, folks, I'm going to listen to some Time Out, some Pandemonium, some Jerk Out. It's Thursday. We're coming up on the weekend. Any weekend plans? If anyone wants to list anything or suggestions, I'm in Florida, so I got the whole state to destroy and conquer. Oh, my back is all itchy. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. I saw the movie. I saw it. Idiocracy. Was it worth the wait?